Hey, welcome to day 9 of the Ocala Solar Blitz. Today is the Lord's Day, hallelujah, because I'm recording this the day after, so today's my day off. But anyways, so these are the lessons I learned from yesterday when I was knocking on the doors. And that is, number one, is the importance of tracking the numbers, because the other day I was getting killed by prospects. I'm talking like door slam in my face. It's like almost 50% of the time, so it was pretty rough. And then for other people, it's just bad timing. Like the one lady wanted to do it, but her husband's dad just died. So I'm like, ugh, that you hate to see it. Anyways, so the power of the numbers, because I was just looking at the numbers. I'm like, okay, even though I'm getting killed today, as long as I talk to 25 homeowners, I know I'm gonna get an appointment. Those numbers aren't amazing, but those, when my current skill level, those are the numbers I have. So I'm like, okay, I just gotta talk to 25 people. I'm like, you gotta talk to 10 more people. So that means tomorrow when I go out, I'm definitely gonna get one, because I'm gonna finally hit that 25. And number two is stop caring what people say. You know, it got so bad to the point where I literally started laughing in people's faces hysterically when they would close the door in my face. Because like my thing is, you know, would you rather be upset or would you rather be happy? I'd rather be happy. So I just literally started laughing when people slammed the door in my face. Number three, this was a tough one. It was a reality check. I realized the reason why I wasn't seeing the results I wanted was because I wasn't obsessed. I'm not obsessed enough. Because, you know, I remember when I first came down here, you could not tell me nothing. Like, I was a man on a mission. I was hitting 100 doors a day, every day, and I lost that. So my thing is, if I reactivate that, because I know it's still in me, I will be a menace to society. And then from there, I also have to start, I lost, like, the main things that made me successful, right? So I was doing training every day in the morning for an hour. Then I would go knock, hit like 100 doors, and then I would go hit training at night. And then I was starting to get momentum. And then the problem was, since we always travel all the time, I would lose my routine, and then I would kind of stop doing it. So for example, when I'm off Blitz, I'll be doing all the right things. When I'm on Blitz, I wouldn't be doing it. But when you're on Blitz, that's the most important time to like focus on learning, because that's when increasing your production is the most important ever, because you literally left, like you're literally traveling just to do one thing, and that's sell. So that's another thing I realized. Even though I'm like, I could sit here all day and say, oh, hey, oh my God, I don't have time to do training because we have a team meeting in the morning. I mean, we go to the gym first thing, then we have a team meeting. Then after that, we work all day. Then we get back, and then after that, I go to sleep. I could say that, or I could say, okay, well, I know that we go to the gym at 7 in the morning, so I need to wake up at 6 so I can then get in an hour of training, then go to the gym, and then go to the sales meeting, do even more training, and then go in the field. And then at nighttime, instead of going to bed at 10, going to bed at 11 and doing more sales training. And then I'll be getting 2 hours. Plus, if you include correlation, which is the meeting, I'll be getting almost 3 hours of training every day on people. By the end of the week, I'll be getting 18 hours of sales training. That is extremely valuable. But for some reason, I just haven't been doing it. But I'm gonna start doing that again, because, you know, the thing is, some people do less but get better results in the short term. Some people just get it. But, you know, the one thing, there's a quote I have as my wallpaper, and that is obsession beats talent every time. And I have to, that's my wallpaper, because I look at it every morning, all the time, and it reminds me, I'm like, you know, if I may not be the best at this now, but if I just keep this obsession and this drive to win, and the fact that no one is going to stop me, I will never quit, I will be the best to ever do this. And that's the plan. So that was a tough reality. That was a tough pill to swallow. But, you know, the truth hurts, and the truth shall set you free. And this was another one, and that is like, just really, I really have to push harder in sale. You know, there's been so many times where someone would give me like a smoke screen. They'd be like, oh, now's a bad time, right? That's a smoke screen. They'd be like, I don't know. I can't think of any right now. But people give me smoke screens. Like, a smoke screen is just something that isn't real. Like, for example, I don't like the way they look. I could push harder, because there's different levels to I don't like the way they look. So you can't see it. But the problem is, so for example, a guy told me the other day, I don't like the way they look. I felt like he was a buyer. Like, I feel like if I would have came back, he didn't know what I was for, he would have done it. Because he'd be like, oh yeah, I've had lots of solar guys come by. He's like, I don't want it. And then he's just standing there like this. Like, he wants me to say something. Like, he wants to be convinced. And all I had to do was build the pain, because reality is everyone that says they don't like the way they look, that's because they haven't felt the pain of the utility company. Once you build that gap and you show them, like, well, yeah, man, I totally understand that you don't like the way they look, but have you heard about this? And you hand it to them, they're like, what? And you're like, oh my God, the rates are going up 40% by the end of this year? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, did you vote on that? They're like, no. I'm like, why don't you just switch over to Tico? They're like, I can't. I'm like, oh, man, that stinks. I mean, too bad there wasn't a cheaper option. Oh, wait, there is. Oh, yeah, solar. You remember those things you say you didn't like? I would never say that, but that's basically how it goes. So stuff like that. And then from there, and that is I need to raise the bar. You know, the one thing I learned about myself is, you know, I really am the people I'm around, which is a gift and a curse. You know, when I'm in college, I'm lazy, I'm unmotivated, I just go through the motions. You know, it's not good, because I'm not in an environment around a bunch of go-getters. But when I'm here, you know, the bar is higher than what it was at college. You know, all these guys want to be rich. At least they'll say they do. And from there, yeah. So everyone here is doing sales because they want to be better. But now it has a point to do with expectations. When I first came here, my bar was, I know that in the beginning I'm going to suck. So to become so good, I'm going to do so much work that it becomes unreasonable for me to fail. So I was hitting 100 doors a day. Like, I was a man on a mission. You could not tell me nothing. It didn't matter what it was. I would not stop until I hit that 100. Until I saw that 100 on counter and I got that dopamine hit saying, hey, I did it, I wouldn't stop. But as time progressed, my team started to like rub off on me. And instead of hitting 100 a day, they're like, oh, the standard's 50. So they're like, okay. So then I started hitting 75. And then basically when we were at the Blitz, the expectation was you guys need to hit 66 doors a day, 400 doors a week about. And then from there, everyone started making all these excuses for why they couldn't do it. So then instead of saying, no, why can't you guys do this, the bar was lowered. So the bar went from being 66 doors per day to being 50 per day. So then guess what happened? I went from knocking 100 a day to 75 a day to 50 a day to yesterday I hit 40 a day. If you make the bar higher, you're going to come closer to it. You might hit the target, but you might be a little bit below it. And that's exactly what's been happening. It's you decrease the bar, and you get people don't even hit the new target that you have. So what that realized for me is I can't let the team's expectations dictate what I do. Because the reality is the bar is only going to get lower and lower. Because whenever people don't hit a goal, instead of saying, okay, why don't we hit the goal, we decrease it. It happens all the time. So I realize I can't let that, standard affect me. So instead, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hold myself to a new standard. I'm like, okay, so where's like the happy medium? Because when I was hitting 100, I was doing so much volume, but there wasn't quality. But when I was doing 40, the quality was there, but I definitely could have done, if I would have done more, I would have got even more results. So I'm like, okay, so what's a happy medium? I can definitely hit 60 doors a day, hands down, having quality conversations, and at the same time having a lot of volume. 60 doors a day is more than fair. 75 within that range. And also, that's what I learned. So I don't want to make this video long and drawn and long-winded. So this is pretty much all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate all your support. I know at this point in my career, not a lot of people see these. Because, I would imagine that they're pretty boring to people that don't understand. But for those of you that do stick to the end, I promise you, this is going to be a crazy story. When 5 years go by and people are rewatching these videos, they're going to be like, holy shit, that was a hell of a story.